And you never showed up. You never showed up.
Okay, I'm
You never
FaceTiming you
showed
right now.
up. Because, of course, to let him die, they wanted the organs. That's what the whole thing was about being here, was about him having organs.
The way you prove a case like that, what you have to do with a case like that is get an expert witness, a doctor who is competent in the area of practice that these doctors and nurses are. Welcome back, viewers. Dave Epstein from the Post Pollock firm. We have a video that went viral. It concerns a University of Alabama football player who unfortunately was hit by a car. It involves his family at the hospital where he was being treated. And some of you who may not have seen the video, let's take a look at the video and I'll give you some of my thoughts on the legalities.
Out here in North Carolina. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're at the Atrium, Carolinas. We are not bowing. We're not bending to these snakes and these devils. They done got exposed. Y'all touched the right one, but you didn't know you touched them the wrong way. Touch not mine anointed to do my prophet no harm. They're asking all of us to leave my brother in here with them.
I called you, and you never showed up. You never showed up.
Okay, I'm
You
FaceTiming
never
you right
showed
now.
up. Because, of course, to let him die, they wanted the organs. That's what the whole thing was about being here, was about him having organs. But this is for God, so that God might get the glory. Even if it's to the point where they are the ones that's getting sued, that's being exposed. Whichever way it is, they the ones that did it. I'm telling you right now, his mama's over there pumping him. His mama's trying to bring him back to life right now because they are right now here at the hospital right now. We're right here.
Oh, okay, folks, there was a lot going on in this case. And to fast forward a little bit, among other things, the family accused the hospital, and it was mentioned there, of trying to harvest this young man's organs. I believe there was also an allegation that the hospital poisoned him. They claimed that the hospital was not properly treating him and that they were causing his death. Well, let me first say this. What a tragedy, what a shame that this happened to this young man. And while, we could all act differently, I can certainly see any of us in that situation with a child laying there in a coma, and you get upset. Well, let's start with what they just said. They are saying that the hospital is somehow at fault. If a hospital causes you an injury, causes your relative to die, they can be held responsible for medical malpractice. And that you have to show that they deviated from the standards of care expected of somebody in that field of medicine. So they would have to prove that. Now, the way it would work, folks, is that if the hospital was negligent, and when I say the hospital, any organization works through its employees. In a case of a hospital, it's professionals. Here it would be nurses, technicians, and doctors. If the hospital were intentionally trying to kill this young man to harvest his organs, there would be criminal responsibility of maybe attempted murder. I think there's an old crime called mayhem where you're dismembering or taking body parts. But that would be very hard to prove in this situation. And I don't know if what they're saying is true or not. I'll give that disclaimer. There are accusations being made. I don't know if it is true or not, and that remains to be seen. But as I watch this video, I noticed certain things that would be concerning to me as a lawyer representing this family. There's somebody from the family doing chest compressions. They're running around this room, and again, I understand it's upsetting. You got your child there. And messing around with equipment and things like that, getting in the way of doctors. It looks like the police had to be called. When you're going after somebody for a claim, in this case a malpractice claim, you want to make sure that your evidence and your claim is pristine. I mean, if you're doing something that could harm the young man yourself, that can create a problem for you. I mean, or if you're interfering with his care, which you could argue they were. Now, again, this is a distraught family, and whether or not the hospital was doing what they said remains to be seen. Whether or not the hospital was negligent in its treatment of the young man remains to be seen. The way you prove a case like that, What you have to do with a case like that is get an expert witness, a doctor who is competent in the area of practice that these doctors and nurses are. Whether it's an emergency room doctor, an intensive care or critical care doctor, you need somebody. In New Jersey, I know you can't even maintain a lawsuit unless you've hired somebody who will give an affidavit saying they see merit. Again, it's proving that somebody deviated from acceptable standards of medical care. That's the catchword there in a malpractice suit. And if you can prove that that happened, then you can go and seek damages. You're talking about the loss of a loved one, it's the loss of companionship and the loss of you're enjoying that person for the rest of their life or their life expectancy. Open-ended areas, but you can seek those damages. If you could show that members of the hospital intentionally sought to harm him or kill him to harvest his organs, well, that would probably implicate punitive damages. That would be a tough road to hoe. You would have to have a lot of proof to show that that was their intention. The family, I was a little concerned by the fact that the hospital was allowing this to go on. Now, on the flip side to that, I don't know what you do with a grieving family if they're in there, but they're running around videotaping this. And if you're going to videotape something, make sure what you're videotaping is going to protect you or help your case. I don't know if this video helped or not. I understand the family's lawyer suggested that they take it down. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. The hospital, though, could be held responsible if they failed to treat this young man properly. That would be subject to an expert concluding that happened. And, of course, the hospital, if there was a lawsuit, would be able to hire its own expert and show the other thing, the other side. There would also be a question of whether or not, what was the boy's condition when he came in? It might have been that he was already not showing brain activity. I don't know all those facts. I don't know if any of us do. Again, when you see these videos, just remember you got to be careful to wait and see what is really happening. The facts come out later. The last thing I would say is, if I were this family's lawyer, is you got to be careful. I know they're upset, but they are making accusations of what could be criminal conduct against this hospital that are pretty strong. Now, I don't know where they got this business about harvesting organs. There have been instances, not so much in the United States, but elsewhere in the world, where healthcare facilities are looking to harvest organs, or they're not doing their job. Maybe they don't care about somebody because they don't have the right health insurance, or for whatever reason, that their neglect goes a little bit beyond not caring, but just not caring at all. That would be gross negligence. I don't know about that, and the problem is, if they don't have some basis, a reasonable basis to make that allegation, then what they've done is they could have committed defamation. So you have to be careful. And you have to be careful not only what you say, but what you do with what you say, because they made a video, and obviously somehow it got uploaded. I'm sure whoever made the video put it out there. So be careful when you're seeing a situation involving a family member you think might ripen into a lawsuit. Be careful what you say, what you do, and talk to a lawyer as soon as you possibly can. Beyond that, this is just an unfortunate situation, and I wish that family peace. I hope this was helpful to you. Be happy to see you next time. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and please comment if you feel like you want to do so. Thank you.